Welcome to the Texas Department of Transportation's pre-recorded virtual public meeting for the proposed improvements of Interstate Highway 30, or I-30, from Interstate 820 to Chisholm Trail Parkway, Interstate 820 from Clifford Street to Chapin Road, Spur 341 from I-30 to Downe Drive, and State Highway 183 or SH 183 from Ridgmar Meadow Road to Rosewood Street in Tarrant County, Texas. During the virtual public meeting, you may pause the presentation and navigate forward or backward using your video player at any time. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Ricardo Gonzalez, and I serve as the Director of Transportation Planning and Development for the Fort Worth District of the Texas Department of Transportation, better known as TxDOT. This virtual public meeting will present audio and visual information on proposed improvements to I-30. After the project information is presented, please provide us comments on the proposed improvements from March 22nd through April 25th, 2022. Your valuable input into these proposed improvements will benefit the community and help shape the final project recommendation. Given the unique circumstance of the COVID-19 outbreak, along with our commitment to protecting public health, TxDOT is offering a virtual public meeting to avoid in-person contact. Additionally, TxDOT is providing 2 in-person options for individuals who would like to participate in person instead of online. Attendees at the in-person option will be able to view the same presentation delivered in the virtual online public meeting, review hard copies of project materials, and leave written comments. This presentation will cover the same information the Fort Worth District will share at the in-person public meeting. However, the comment process for the virtual public meeting will be different from what we normally conduct at an in-person meeting and will be explained shortly. All project information can be found on TxDOT's website at www.TxDOT.gov with the keyword search of I-30 West Corridor Study. For health and safety reasons, we encourage the public to view the project materials displayed online to avoid in-person contact. I will now introduce HNTB Corporation, who has been assisting TxDOT with developing the engineering design for the proposed project.
Good evening. On behalf of TxDOT, I would like to welcome you to the virtual public meeting for the I-30 West Corridor Study. The in-person options are preferred to be by appointment and will be held on Tuesday, March the 22nd from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Education Service Center, Region 11, located at 1451 South Cherry Lane, White Settlement, Texas, and on Thursday, March 24th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens, located at 3220 Botanic Garden Boulevard, Fort Worth, Texas. Individuals wishing to attend the in-person options must sign up via www.signupgenius.com/go/I-30 West Corridor Study PM or call 833-933-0431 and leave a voicemail with your contact information. A team member will then contact you to schedule an appointment. At this time, I will present the following: project overview, environmental overview, project schedule and next steps, and the public comment process. Before discussing the project details, I would like to acknowledge our local project partners who have participated in the development of this project, including the Federal Highway Administration, the North Central Texas Council of Governments, the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base Fort Worth, cities of Fort Worth and White Settlement, Tarrant County, and Trinity Metro. As a part of the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA process, TxDOT is hosting this public meeting to provide the public with an update on the study and present both audio and visual information on the proposed improvements to I-30. The goal of this meeting is to provide a status of the project design and an environmental overview, as well as receive public comments that can assist in influencing project design elements. There is currently no funding identified for construction of the project. TxDOT is seeking your input on high priority areas within the corridor that can be addressed through breakout projects. These breakout projects can be completed prior to the ultimate project being constructed as funding becomes available. During development of the study, TxDOT held several technical work group meetings which are held during the alternative analysis phase of the project and consist of agency personnel and local government officials who have a role in funding, permitting, and implementing the proposed project. These meetings offer participants the opportunity to voice their input, scrutiny, and provide opinion on all aspects of the project. In addition to the technical work group meetings, TxDOT held meetings with the City of Fort Worth, City of White Settlement, Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base, Trinity Metro, and the North Central Texas Council of Governments to receive input from these project partners. The study team is also coordinating adjacent TxDOT projects that are ongoing. Those include the I-30 project from Linecrest Drive to I-20 and the SH-183 North Tarrant project from I-30 to SH-199. For more information on those projects, please visit the TxDOT website. The overall study goals and objectives include alleviate congestion, improve operations, enhance safety, provide transportation options, develop implementable solutions that may consist of breakout projects for high priority area as funding becomes available, and coordinate future Metropolitan Transportation Plan, or MTP, revisions with study recommendations. The purpose of the I-30 West Corridor study is to evaluate proposed improvements to the existing I-30 corridor, to consider potential express lanes, and to evaluate improvements to the frontage roads, ramps, and cross streets, including the I-30 820, I-30 Spur 341, and I-30 SH-183 interchanges within the project limits. The next step in the public involvement process is offering this public meeting. The public meeting notice for this project was posted on www.txdot.gov at Public Meetings and Notices on Tuesday, March the 1st. Elected and public officials were mailed a notice, a letter, and a fact sheet on Wednesday, March the 2nd. Adjacent property owners were mailed a notice, a comment form, and a fact sheet on Friday, March the 4th. Adjacent property owners were identified by using county tax rolls. Other stakeholders were mailed a postcard on Friday, March the 4th. The notice of this public meeting was published in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram newspaper on Sunday, March the 6th in English and Spanish, in the White Settlement Bomber News and Benbrook News on Thursday, March the 10th, both of which are online publications only. A Spanish notice of the public meeting was published in Novedades News on Wednesday, March the 9th, which is also an online publication only. The limits for the study extend along I-30 from 820 to Chisholm Trail Parkway, Interstate 820 from Clifford Street to Chapin Road, Spur 341 from I-30 to Downe Drive, and SH-183 from Ridgmar Meadow Road to Rosewood Street. The project extends through portions of the cities of Benbrook, Fort Worth, Westover Hills, and White Settlement in Tarrant County, Texas. The study is approximately 12 miles in length. The corridor study includes preparing conceptual layouts, an alternative analysis, traffic data and projections, traffic engineering and operations, and public involvement. The limits of the corridor are shown on the map in yellow. We are currently in this phase of the project. The design schematic and environmental study stage of the project will include geometric design schematic layout of the recommended alternative, a drainage study, an interstate access justification report, an environmental assessment, and public involvement. The limits of the design schematic and environmental study are shown on the map in pink. TxDOT's typical project development process includes identifying a need, conducting a feasibility and routing study, alternative analysis and schematic, environmental study supported with public involvement, final detailed design, right-of-way and utilities, and finally construction. Following this public meeting, the proposed design will be refined per public meeting comments where feasible. Once this is complete, this resulting design will become the recommended alternative and will proceed to the design schematic and environmental documentation phase of the project. Within the project limits, I-30 consists of 3 to 4 12-foot wide general purpose lanes in each direction and 2 to 4 12-foot wide discontinuous frontage road lanes in each direction. Depicted here is a typical section of the existing I-30 main lanes and frontage roads. As you can see, the existing right-of-way varies with a typical width of 350 feet. Along the existing corridor, there is limited pedestrian and no bicycle accommodations. An alternative analysis was conducted for the project to determine recommended improvements. The process started by evaluating various typical sections. The following typical sections were considered. No build, do nothing. A no build typical section maintaining 3 to 4 existing main lanes in each direction. Additional general purpose lanes, a proposed typical section with the addition of 1 to 2 general purpose lanes in each direction. Concurrent express lanes, a proposed typical section with the addition of up to 1 general purpose lane and 1 concurrent express lane in each direction. Reversible express lanes, a proposed typical section with the addition of 2 reversible express lanes. No additional general purpose lanes would be added. The following slides will provide a brief description of each alternative and its typical section. The no-build do-nothing alternative would maintain the existing 3 to 4 general-purpose lanes and existing 2 to 4 discontinuous frontage road lanes in each direction. It would not include improvements to the project corridor. This alternative does include maintenance of the existing roadway. The additional general-purpose lanes alternative would add 1 to 2 general-purpose lanes in each direction and pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. The alternative includes an evaluation of continuous frontage roads and would require additional right-of-way. Express lanes are typically built in the median of freeway corridors and separated from parallel traffic by barriers. Express lanes significantly have fewer entrance and exit ramps than parallel freeway lanes and allow through traffic to avoid congestion that results from local trips. Express lanes do not have a toll component, so they cannot guarantee a speed. The concurrent express lanes alternative would add up to 1 general purpose lane and 1 concurrent express lane in each direction, along with pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. The alternative includes an evaluation of continuous frontage roads and would require additional right-of-way. There was no tolling component considered with this alternative. The reversible express lanes alternative adds 2 reversible express lanes along with pedestrian and bicycle accommodations. The alternative includes an evaluation of continuous frontage roads and would require additional right-of-way. There was no tolling component considered with this alternative. The alternative analysis evaluation process begins with the development of 3 build alternatives and the no build do nothing alternative. The purpose of this evaluation of alternatives is to compare the alternatives and identify those that would best achieve the study goals and objectives. See the project website for a larger version of the evaluation matrix. The following categories were identified as the initial basis or criteria for evaluating the alternatives: engineering, traffic, environmental, and estimated cost. The summary of the alternatives comparison are shown in the slide. The criteria rating scale used in this comparative evaluation of alternatives includes 5 levels of degree. The ranking system is shown in the table. Based on preliminary traffic analysis, this segment of I-30 has definitive peak hour directionality, meaning the morning traffic is significantly higher on the eastbound lanes and the evening traffic is significantly higher on the westbound lanes. The no-build do-nothing alternative could not accommodate future traffic. Therefore, it was eliminated from further consideration. The 3 build alternatives were further evaluated with the following results. Because of the traffic directionality, concurrent express lanes would not be utilized to justify the significant right-of-way impacts. Preliminary traffic analysis further concluded that reversible express lanes would not provide additional benefit compared to the additional general purpose lanes and would result in a larger right-of-way footprint, meaning there would be more right-of-way impacts. Per the alternative analysis evaluation in coordination with the North Central Texas Council of Governments, adjacent cities, and stakeholders, the no-build do-nothing, concurrent express lanes, and reversible express lanes alternatives were eliminated from further consideration. To meet the goals and objectives, the additional general-purpose lanes alternative is recommended to proceed to the design schematic and environmental documentation phase of the project from Interstate 820 to Camp Bowie Boulevard, where it will transition back to existing. The additional general-purpose lanes alternative, as shown at this public meeting, will be further refined where feasible based on public input from the schematic limits. The recommended alternative would provide 1 to 2 general purpose lanes in each direction, a 10-foot wide shared use path for bicycles and pedestrians in each direction, offset 5 foot from the frontage road curb, where reasonable and feasible. In areas where the shared use path is not feasible, at a minimum an 8-foot sidewalk would be provided. Visit the project website at TxDOT.gov with the keyword search of I-30 West Corridor Study to see a roll plot of the recommended alternative. If you have any questions about the recommended alternative, please contact TxDOT for additional information. Please note that as a part of the alternative analysis, multiple interchange alternatives were evaluated at the Spur 341 and SH 183 interchanges, and we will go into further detail later in the presentation. The interchange shown on the recommended alternative roll plot is one of the preliminary alternatives being considered. All interchange alternatives will be further evaluated as the analysis evolves, including traffic operations and feedback from this public meeting. The project team is evaluating deficiencies of the existing interchanges and has developed alternatives to reconstruct the Spur 341 and SH 183 interchanges to address the following safety, operational, and engineering deficiencies. The current interchange does not meet current guidelines for engineering, enhance safety, provide pedestrian and bicycle access, does not operate well with today's traffic, and the interchange operation and traffic mobility will continue to deteriorate over time as traffic increases. The alternatives shown on this slide were considered and analyzed. These alternatives are available for viewing at this public meeting. All the alternatives implement latest design criteria and improve pedestrian and bicycle access compared to the no-build do-nothing. A more detailed description of each alternative will be provided in the following slides. 2 alternatives were removed from consideration due to geometric feasibility or input from the February and March 2021 series of stakeholder meetings. Those include the SH 183 split diamond with westbound I-30 to northbound SH 183 direct connector, Spur 341 and SH 183 one-way pair. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH 183 would be removed. The proposed exit and entrance ramps both directions would serve both 341 and SH 183. Compared to the no-build, the benefits to this alternative are the significant potential surplus of right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH 183, and Cherry Lane, and consistency with driver expectation or familiarity. The challenges are the multiple signalized intersections on the frontage road. The cost of this alternative is approximately $111 million. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH 183 would be removed. A diverging diamond interchange is proposed at I-30 and SH 183. This interchange type enhances safety and mobility and is similar to the interchange at SH 183/Sam Rayburn Tollway at South Colony Boulevard in the Colony, Texas, near Nebraska Furniture Mart. Direct connectors are proposed from southbound Spur 341 and SH 183 to eastbound I-30, and from westbound I-30 to northbound Spur 341 and SH 183. Compared to the no-build alternative, the benefits with this alternative are the potential surplus right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH 183, Cherry Lane, and reduced weaving on I-30 and proposed frontage roads. The challenges are a 3-level interchange because of the height of the interchange within proximity to the Joint Reserve Base flight path. Further analysis and coordination would be required if this alternative advances. Other considerations are driver expectancy or familiarity associated with the diverging diamond interchange and right-of-way impacts on the northwest corner of Spur 341. The cost of this alternative is approximately $122 million. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH 183 would be removed. Traditional I-30 entrance and exit ramps are proposed to and from SH 183. Direct access to and from Spur 341 is grade separated from the frontage road and the SH 183 traffic. Compared to the no-build alternative, the benefits with this alternative are the potential surplus of right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH 183, and Cherry Lane, and Spur 341 and SH 183 traffic are separated. The challenges are a 3-level interchange because of the height of the interchange within proximity to the Joint Reserve Base flight path. low-speed connections to Spur 341, and right-of-way impacts on the northwest corner of Spur 341. The cost of this alternative is approximately $106 million. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH-183 would be removed. Traditional I-30 entrance and exit ramps are proposed to and from SH-183. 3 direct connections are proposed for Spur 341, eastbound I-30 to northbound Spur 341, southbound Spur 341 to eastbound I-30, and westbound I-30 to northbound Spur 341. Southbound Spur 341 to westbound I-30 would access to Frontage Road and go through the Cherry Lane signal. Compared to the no-build alternative, the benefits with this alternative are the significant potential of surplus right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH-183, Cherry Lane, and reduced weaving on I-30 and proposed frontage roads. The challenge is that there would be no direct I-30 westbound access to Cherry Lane. The cost of this alternative is approximately $119 million. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH-183 would be removed. This alternative provides full access to and from SH-183 and Spur 341. Direct access is also provided to and from Cherry Lane. Compared to the no-build alternative, the pros with this alternative are substantial potential surplus right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH-183, Cherry Lane, and SH-183 traffic will bypass the intersections with the frontage roads. The cons are a 3-level interchange because of the height of the interchange within proximity to the Joint Reserve Base flight path, and additional signals along the frontage roads. The cost of this alternative is approximately $129 million. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH-183 would be removed. A half-divergent diamond interchange is proposed at I-30 and Spur 341. This interchange type enhances safety and mobility since one travel direction does not extend past the interchange, limiting access to only 3 directions. Direct connections are proposed to and from Cherry Lane. Compared to the no-build alternative, the benefits with this alternative include the potential surplus of right-of-way, access to Spur 341 SH-183, Cherry Lane, and improved mobility. The challenges are driver expectancy or familiarity, combined I-30 exits to Spur 341 and SH-183, and multiple signalized intersections. The cost of this alternative is approximately $121 million. This alternative was proposed by the North Central Texas Council of Governments. The existing I-30 loop ramps to and from Spur 341 and SH-183 would be removed. A traditional diamond interchange is proposed both directions of I-30 to and from SH-183. Direct access is proposed for all directions of Spur 341 and to and from I-30. A roundabout is proposed to connect Scott Street, Ridgmar Mall, and Spur 341. Direct access is provided to Cherry Lane. Compared to the no-build, the benefits with this alternative include the potential surplus of right-of-way, access to Spur 341, SH-183, Cherry Lane, and reduced weaving on I-30 and proposed frontage roads. The challenges include driver expectancy or familiarity associated with the roundabout, lower design speed for the connection from southbound Spur 341 to westbound I-30, and cost. This is the most expensive of the alternatives, estimated at approximately $140 million. The alternative analysis evaluation process begins with the development of build alternatives and the no-build, do-nothing alternative. The purpose of this evaluation of alternatives is to compare the interchange alternatives and identify those that would best achieve the study goals and objectives. See the project website, TxDOT.gov, for a larger version of the interchange evaluation matrix. Similar to the main lane evaluation matrix, the following categories were identified as the initial basis or criteria for evaluating the interchange alternatives: engineering, traffic, environmental, and estimated cost. The results of the alternatives comparison are shown in the slide. The criteria rating used in the comparative evaluation of alternatives includes 5 levels of degree. The ranking system is shown in the table. Further geometric and traffic analysis are necessary and will be a part of the next phase of the study to determine the proposed interchange at I-30 and Spur 341 SH 183. Public comments received from this public meeting will be considered to refine alternatives and continue more detailed analysis to provide the best interchange alternative that meets the study goals. The I-30 study is federally funded. When a study or project receives federal funding, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project. The National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA process, requires analysis of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker make an informed decision on whether to proceed with the project. Prior to December 16, 2014, the Federal Highway Administration, or FHWA, reviewed and approved documents prepared under the National Environmental Policy Act, known as NEPA. However, on December 16, 2014, TxDOT assumed responsibility from FHWA to review and approve certain assigned NEPA environmental documents. This Memorandum of Understanding was renewed on December 9, 2019. This review and approval process will apply to this project. This virtual public meeting presented by TxDOT is provided to share information and encourage comments from the public regarding the proposed I-30 West Corridor project. As a part of the project scope, TxDOT tasked the engineering consultant to determine the environmental resources to be analyzed, conduct fieldwork to determine potential environmental constraints, and document those findings in the preparation of the NEPA document. The technical documentation for this project will address the potential impacts identified during the engineering and design phase of the proposed project. These areas of potential impact include natural, social, and cultural resources, as well as potential impacts to adjacent and surrounding land use. This slide shows a list of all resources and issues that will be evaluated during the environmental analysis. Please note that these environmental studies are ongoing. Any findings because of these studies will be shared at a future public involvement event. The project environmental constraints map is used to help planners and engineers determine the least impactful method to fulfill the goals and objectives of the project. Visit the project website at txdot.gov with the keyword search of I-30 West Corridor Study to view a full map of the constraints map. Environmental studies for this project are ongoing. Currently, the project is in the corridor study phase that includes preparing conceptual layouts, an alternative analysis, gathering traffic data and projections, traffic engineering and operations, and public involvement. The limits are shown in yellow. The corridor study is expected to be completed in early 2023. The next phase includes the design schematic and environmental study. The NEPA process includes public involvement and proactively engaging stakeholders and seeking public input. This slide highlights the steps of the project development process and tentative project schedule for I-30 from 820 to Camp Bowie Boulevard. The draft primary schematic layout is anticipated in early 2024, and the draft environmental document and a public hearing are both anticipated to be completed at the end of 2024, early 2025. Upon approval of the environmental document, environmental clearance would follow and is anticipated in mid-2025. The development of the environmental documents for the portion of the study along I-30 from Camp Bowie to Chisholm Trail is expected to have a separate study and to be prepared in the future. Future phases of the project, including final design plans, right-of-way acquisition, and utility relocations, have not been scheduled and would be determined at a later date. Funding for the project is still being identified. Limited funding is expected to be available for breakout projects to address high-priority area needs in the corridor. These breakout projects have not yet been identified. Your feedback is appreciated to help identify potential breakout projects. For your convenience, we invite you to view all information developed for this project online at txdot.gov, keyword search I-30 West Corridor Study. Materials such as the draft schematic, constraints map, and alternative layouts are available for viewing at this virtual public meeting. Project questions are welcome throughout the project development process. If you have questions or comments throughout the project development, please contact the TxDOT Project Manager, Charles Cox, at 817-370-6533 during regular office hours or by email at ftw_I_30_west@txdot.gov. Your comments about this project are very important to TxDOT. Your feedback on the I-30 project will contribute greatly to the success of this project. This slide highlights the process for public comments. For your comments to be included in the public meeting summary, all comments must be postmarked or received by Monday, April 25th, 2022. Mail written comments to TxDOT Project Manager Charles Cox at TxDOT's Fort Worth District, 2501 Southwest Loop 820, Fort Worth, Texas 76133, or leave a verbal comment via voicemail at 833-933-0431. Email comments to the TxDOT Project Manager at ftw_I_30_west at txdot.gov. Online comments may be submitted at www.txdot.gov, keyword search I-30 West Study. Select this project, then click on the Submit Your Comment box in the upper right corner of the project page. We appreciate your understanding with this comment process. The responses to your comments submitted during the comment period will be included in the virtual public meeting summary. This report will be posted on TxDOT's website when it's finalized prior to the public meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely thank you for joining TxDOT's public meeting for the proposed I-30 West corridor study in Tarrant County. Your questions, comments, and concerns will receive careful consideration. Please take a moment to review the project materials online, and remember to submit your comments by Monday, April 25th, 2022. This public meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you.